So there you go, Jimmy Cricket. That's the brand new DVD. You're very welcome to A Little Bit of Ireland.
Thanks, Richard. Pleasure.
You're looking very prosperous.
I wish. I wish.
Now, you've travelled from where this morning?
Rochdale.
Rochdale.
Yeah, which isn't a million miles. It's across the Pennines to the viewers. You're here in Brighouse and we're just across. So you're in Yorkshire and I'm in Lancashire. We're both sort of anglicised Irish, but you're a Yorkshire Irishman and I'm a Lancashire Irishman, you see.
That's fair enough, isn't it? But you're very welcome.
Well, it's lovely to be on the show. It's fabulous, and thanks for...
Have you heard about us before?
Yes, I had. You had a great big Christmas show, and you had Daniel O'Donnell and apparently and Charlie Lansborough and
John McNichol.
It was a very big show, and lots of people are buzzing about it. And I thought, I've got to get on this.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's a good career move, and I want on it.
Well, absolutely.
You know?
And when I got your brown envelope through the post, I thought
that sealed it. I hope it was enough. I had a whip round in the pub.
Well, I think we probably need to talk later on, but for the moment, I could probably
get away with it.
But listen, you're very welcome anyway.
No problem.
You're married how long?
38 years.
To the same woman?
The same woman, bless her, cutting picking socks. Yeah. She's lovely. I mean, all marriages go through rocky periods. I mean, only the other night I was snoring in bed and she got up and went into the next room. So a few minutes later I was still snoring. So I got up, went into the next room and joined her, you see. So I'll tell you what I'm dreading. Richard, I'm dreading St. Valentine's Day.
Are you?
Last year she said to me, there's not an ounce of romance in you. And she went to the window in the living room, pulled back the curtain, right? She said, you see that lady that lives across the street? I said, yeah. She said, her husband kisses her every morning before he goes to work. Why don't you do the same? I said, I don't even know that woman. I mean, is that ridiculous or not, is it?
Jimmy, where did you start your career?
It sort of started, because I was born in Cookstown, County Tyrone.
County Tyrone, yeah.
And when I was sort of a baby, I was the youngest in the family, so we all headed off to Belfast. My father was originally an undertaker and owned a pub, but he bought a shop, he bought a big grocery shop in Belfast. So I sort of grew up there, and there was lots of things. When you got to be a teenager there was lots of pubs, clubs, places you could practice and get a bit of an act. And then when I got to about 19, I rode off to Butlins and Mosney. The Irish camp. Lots of people don't realise there was a Butlins.
Yes.
26 miles from Dublin there.
County Meath.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And that was a great grounding for me. They had a big theatre there with an orchestra, and once a week they let you do the red coat show and let you, try out your act. And in a way let you be bad because, you're Uncle Jimmy, so they know you, and you have to sort of learn your trade. From there I was able to sort of get transferred over to the camps here, Clacton, and then in the wintertime go all around the clubs. I mean, I played all round.
And of course, the Irish audiences, of course, would tell you how it is, wouldn't they?
Great. And high.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Were you naturally funny then as a young person?
Well, I was more a clown. I was always visual, so I suppose falling over. And then I did a mime act at the start, so miming's always sort of been the thing. I use a lot of that in the act, and then because when I do my live act, and then I started to learn to juggle a bit. Left it because when I did the clubs, I just want to do, you want to do the gags and the one-liners. But that's come back into my act now. It's quite a good bit. And then, of course, I learned the funny walks and all, which was great. And for pantomime, which I've just finished at the Doncaster Civic, we did 4.5 weeks, and we did great houses. And then, of course, a lot of the kids don't know you. The adults know you. Yeah. They grew up with you, but then they're bringing their kids in, so you're being discovered. I mean, the emails that come through now are like your new audience. It's like the Walt Disney thing. You get rediscovered,
It's a great tribute that you have lasted so long, Jimmy.
Thank God.
Did you find it very difficult when you first started?
Oh, I think any stand-up will. There was no comedy clubs then, and probably that would have been better if I was trying to experiment and do lots of stuff and things like that. So the social club / working men's club could be just a tiny bit more discerning. But again, when you cut the mustard, they accepted you. They used to say, you're too good for a Thursday now, we're going to book you for a Saturday. That used to be a lovely thing.
So when you got the Saturday night...
When you got the Saturday night gig...
You knew you hit the big time.
you're going places.
So over the years, you'll have done all sorts of things, wouldn't you? Pantomime, and of course you were massive on television, 70s, 80s and 90s, weren't you?
Yeah, the 80s were sort of my break. I'd served my trade in the clubs, and then The Search for a Star came, the talent show at the time. Of course, I was very lucky then. That wasn't like an X Factor where you can be voted off. There was none of that. Basically, you did your act. Everybody did what they did, and there was just judging. They just went round to regions.
Yes.
Grampian in Scotland, Ulster, Scottish, Yorkshire, and they just said, oh, he's got 9 points. It was all very quick at the end, and either one of you didn't. But there was no, shall I say, sort of judging and all that lark. I mean, it gets very repetitive now.
But of course, you must have been very funny at the time, because people wouldn't have voted for you, because they did have to vote within their regions, didn't they?
Yeah.
And then, of course, they collected the votes from there, and then they were added. So you must have been funny. You must have had a good act at the time, even at such an early time.
Yeah. Well, I won the heat. I didn't win. I came back and did a final, and I came second in that. But I think you just get that little exposure. And then there was a year when nothing happened, and that was probably a blessing. So you settle down.
Yes.
You settle down now. It's not a roller coaster.
Yeah.
You think, oh, they've forgotten about me or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I got this program called The Good Old Days from Leeds, City Varieties.
Yes.
City Varieties is still, not only is it still going strong, it's all been refurbished. So it's opening again this year, 2011.
Yeah, it's a great show.
Yeah, and I'm hoping to get that. I've had a word with the people at Equity, the head lady at Equity, Christine Payne, and we're very keen to keep variety on the map. Yeah. Keep all the the comics, the jugglers, and that. So we're hoping, and this is a first actually. I haven't even told the manager of the City Varieties yet, to make that a national theatre variety. Right. We're hoping to get that, and that would be a great thing for anybody younger and newer.
But I mean, you're very lucky, because you have continued to work, even though there has been recent times when you haven't done the television. Yeah. But you're still a busy man, and you're working all the time, aren't you?
Well, again, get back to Donald. He's an absolute role model for looking after your fans and friends, sending them birthday cards, meeting him at the end. And if you do that, people will warm to you. They'll come. They'll support you. Ken Dodd's another great one who I love. If Ken was never on the television again, he would pack anywhere out, because he's built up, as I say, as live name. People want to go, they want to be part of it, they want to be part of the experience.
And still a fantastic act even today.
In his 80s.
He's just marvellous.
Remarkable.
I know in Halifax, they when they go to see him, they tell you don't be expected home before 1.
I know. He just loves it, you see. Yeah. He loves it.
Yeah.
And it's just,
now, you're very famous for your catchphrase, "Come here, there's more," and
lean over, pull your seats forward. Yeah.
That's been good to you, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has really. That came out of the clubs, because see, in the club they could be sort of, they'll watch a gag or two and then they'll go, "Now, what did you see the match today?" And then I'll say, "Oh, there's more. Oh, wait a minute, why?" They just had to turn around. It was to get them leaning up.
Just go easy on that, Gin.
Oh, I know.
And so that's been great for you, hasn't it?
Well, the pantomime would have just finished again. In panto, when you do that, you say, "Now, come here, have you heard about Aladdin?" Because I'm wishy-washy, you see. "Have you heard about Aladdin? Come here, lean over." And all the kids, they go like that, which is lovely. You see, children accept exactly. They buy into it,
Yeah. Are you finding then that the kids are getting to know you now, even?
Yeah, and I think that's lovely. And always being a clean family act. That is, I mean, when...
I think that's probably one of the reasons why you've lasted so long.
I think so. I mean, I wanted, Richard, with the DVD, the new one, Pull Your Seats Forward, I wanted people to sit round as a family, and I also wanted it to be quality, because, programs like you have here, quality. And that's why I put a few bob into it. I wanted, not to be disappointed. I mean, I knew the content was all right, because you've been working your stuff and you've been writing, but you needed it technically good, as you know yourself. Because when people fork out their hard-earned money, they want to have, be able to sit around, and that's one of the great things about it.
I think it's a shame when a lot of these DVDs and things come out, and of course they have the 18, and of course it's not family viewing, is it?
Of course not.
It's not. So this is a wonderful new DVD, Jimmy Cricket Live.
Yes, not a cartoon.
And there's some great viewing in this, as we watched previously, but this is family viewing, isn't it?
Yeah. I recorded it at a little theatre called the Royal Court in Bacup, which was actually used a few weeks ago on New Year's Day. They had the Eric and Ernie the Morecambe lads when they were growing up. And they shot some of the scenes at that little theatre, as if it was the windmill.
Yeah.
You know, and so Ken Dodd actually calls the Royal Court in Bacup. He said it's the only theatre where you actually go in off the street to go into the balcony, because the balcony is actually on the street, and then you go downstairs. It's like below. It's on a hill, you see. Yeah. So when you go on down the hill and turn round, you're in the stalls. But when you come off the hill, you actually walk into the balcony first, and the stalls is down below. So it's quite a unique thing.
Jimmy, just tell us briefly about this album you have released.
You know, I did that a few years ago, and it's all about my where I grew up. It's called "I'm Dreaming of a Far Off Land." And basically, it's 15 songs, sort of all about Ireland that I penned. I mean, there's obviously a couple of comedy ones like Lenihan's Lazy Hen and I Fixed the Wheel and Molly Malone's Wheelbarrow. And then there's a couple extolling the virtues like Cruising Through Cushendall. But then there's a few about, we're immigrants ourselves and who miss home. Or they miss their loved ones, and I've done 2 or 3. So there's a wee bit of a tear plopping away. I'm actually do one in my live act. I'm Dreaming of Far Off Land.
Jimmy, have you a website?
Yeah.
Give us the website.
www.jimmycricket.co.uk.
Right.
Or they just tap into Google, it just takes them officially into the official.
Right. And would they find out about all the products that you're available?
Absolutely. They will through PayPal and what the prices are and everything.
Yeah. And do you also get some information about your career to date?
Yeah, all the tour dates, where I am, where they can come and see me. And we try and do a little newsletter every couple of months, what's happened. Okay. Take a little pickies.
So people sort of...
Oh, they're very, very welcome.
Join the fan club and then get to know all about you.
That's exactly it.
Well, Jimmy, I haven't met you before this day, but it's been a pleasure indeed. And I always said to myself when I'd seen you over the years, I'd love to meet Jimmy someday. So I'm delighted that we've passed crossed paths, as we say. Yeah. Thank you so much for taking the time out to come and see us. You're welcome. Wish you the very best for the future. It's quite evident that you'll be going on for a bit longer anyway.
Try and stop me.
Yeah. And the best of luck to you.
Thank you, Richard. Thanks for having me on the show, and good luck with all your programs. A little bit of Ireland. Let's more and more people and from home and everybody come on and see quality entertainment you're obviously putting on.
Yeah, even if you say so yourself. Jimmy Cricket, thanks very much indeed.